Okay, so now it's 2 o'clock. We are going to start sharp because we always on time. Yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in to Jom Zero Waste Community Livestream with Zero Waste Malaysia. And today we have our guest speakers, which is Nurun from her IG account is Mama Long Pants. So just a bit of introduction about why we have this Jom Zero Waste Community Livestream. So for this live stream, we only have this. At the moment, we only have this live stream for the whole May. I'm not sure if we are able to tahan till end of the May, but we will try our best if, let's say, we are able to find more content and those more speakers to join us. Is that right? Yeah. And then also do check our social media, Facebook, Instagram, to those recent live sessions, and tomorrow we have one Izati at same time 2 p.m. to learn about composting without access to garden. Yes.
Hang on, you're breaking up a little bit, Sue Yee.
Yes, Nurun from Mama.
Okay, hang on. It's a bit. Yeah, it's a little bit breaking up. Hang on.
Is it better?
Okay, let's try now. Hang on. Oh, hello. Who's that on your end? Okay. Okay, let's try now. Oh, hi, Jasmine is here too. What? Hang on, can you give me a minute? I'm just gonna grab something to put the phone on. 1 minute.
I think Jessica will need to. So Jessica is our back end today. Yeah. So we are on the screen again. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for the technical issues just now. Yeah. Okay. So right now, we are back fully online on Facebook and Instagram. So hello everyone once again. So just now I was briefly sharing about what's the whole Jom Zero Waste community live stream about. And now I would like to also introduce a bit on our guest speaker, Nurun from Mama Long Pants. So also maybe Nurun, you could share your zero waste journey a little bit, and also how long have you been living a low waste lifestyle, and as well as how we actually meet. I know we met.
I'm fiddling with this because, as you can see, I'm a very tech noob. So let me set this up. It keeps on falling.
No problem.
Just give me a minute. I can speak while I set this up. If you guys don't mind looking at me weird on Instagram.
It's okay. Maybe I can tambah a bit first. Yeah. So how I actually meet Nurun. I guess, if not mistaken, if let's say I'm wrong, just correct me halfway. So I first met Nurun was back to, I don't know, 2000 blah, blah, blah. But I met her first. Oh, 17. Okay.
2017.
Not Earth Weekend.
No, remember long ago when the hive was still in the house in Bangsa? You did Yes, you did a beeswax workshop.
Oh, okay. Oh my god. Okay, I totally forgot that. I remember that you joined one of the workshop. I'm not sure if it's before the Earth Weekends or after the Earth Weekends. The reason why I need to clarify why I'm saying this, because I was very, very amazed by your homemade pastry and your homemade bread. So that's the moment where I very, very, very like into your whole like projects, your Mama Miss Long Pants. Yeah. So that's the moment where I really, really remind of you.
Thank you so much. Well, I grew up baking a lot with my mom. My mom loved baking. Oh my god, this floppy thing. Sorry.
It's okay. just
As you can
take your
tell,
time to set up.
I am not a tech person. My husband is probably
No
cringing.
problem.
He's tuning in, and he's probably like, "What's wrong with you?"
What
Okay,
happened? Huh? Why you
I'm
cannot
just
do that?
I'm just gonna hold this for a bit. Right. So
Yeah.
I grew up baking a lot with my mom. I remember a lot of memories spending a lot of time in the kitchen with her, um, just baking, having a lot of fun. Um, and we were generally frugal growing up out of necessity.
Mhm.
Um, so I think a lot of us can relate to that because most of our parents come from that time where they are frugal, they save everything. They save
Mm.
everything, they don't waste anything. So I generally grew up with that. Thrifting was second nature to me. I always used to shop secondhand, to thrift and all that. Um, and Then I grew up, right? So I grew up, I started working. Oh, then jolly lah, go and buy everything. Oh, sale, 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 buy. We all grew up this way, right? Then
We all
after a
been
while,
there.
yeah, after a while, I kind of like thought it first started with chemicals, like in skincare and
Ah.
laundry powder and things like that. And I thought to myself, I think I can do better because whatever goes onto my skin is the largest
Mm.
organ and it goes into my bloodstream, blah, 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 all of that. I'm not going to um, expand on that because I think it's quite general, right? So
Mm.
then I started with going eco with my skincare. I say eco, but then there's still a lot of packaging because you at that time nothing was really available in Singapore, Malaysia. So you would have to buy on like say iHerb, things from overseas. Your organic tampons, your organic pads would come from overseas.
Yeah.
So then I I was working in Singapore at that time, and then I came back to Malaysia after I got married. So I've been back in Malaysia for 7 years now.
Mm.
Um, and uh, and then I got pregnant, right? So when I got pregnant
Mm.
with the twins, it was a surprise pregnancy, not expected at all. What more twins?
Okay.
So so then I guess sometimes I don't know if it's true for every parent, but for me, when I became a parent, I started being even more conscious of the things that I that I was doing.
Yeah.
So then I dabbled into the world of cloth diapering or cloth nappies
Ah.
because I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna have twins.
Yeah.
That's a shit ton of disposable nappies going to landfill. And at that point, it
Yes.
still didn't click to me yet, like composting or um, or actually all those other things. I was purely thinking from a parent standpoint of what's the best stuff I can give my kids, and
Mm.
so things like plastic plastic, what do you call them, milk bottles and things like that. I was like, oh, if
Ah.
I if there's like warm milk in it, even if it's BPA free, that's still going to leach some stuff to my children. So
Yeah.
then I went on, like Google is your best friend. You just Google everything, and then it was like a rabbit hole. Literally, once you start, it's a rabbit hole. You just go deeper and deeper.
Yeah, because I feel that the more that you really do a lot of research on it, and then you find that there are a lot of cons on doing the conventional way, and as
Yeah,
well as you became more aware because this is your children, right? And
yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, so totally feel you. Although I'm still haven't have my
Take your
need to
time.
go for the other half first. Yeah.
Take your time, honestly. Enjoy
Mm.
enjoy life because parenting is a full-time job, 24/7. No clock out. At the end of the day at the office, you can punch a card. There is none of that. And I gotta say that when after I gave birth to my kids after a few days, because my mom was in town for a
Yeah.
while,
Mm.
I cried like a baby and apologized to my mom because I said, I am so sorry for being difficult at any point in my childhood. I now understand
Mm.
how difficult it was for you. And I think for many parents we can
Relate to it.
we can relate to it, yeah. We can relate
Mm.
to it. Yeah, so anyways, after that, like I said, you went down through the rabbit hole. Then
Mm.
I started looking at more things after I did the sorry. I'm sorry if you can hear my cat meowing a lot.
It's okay.
Yeah. When I did the nappies for the children, right? Then after a while, I thought to myself, hang on a minute, I'm still using disposable sanitary products. You know,
Oh,
uh,
yourself that
yeah,
time.
myself. Then
Ah.
it kind of like flipped a switch in my head, and I was like, okay, if I'm doing it for my kids, shouldn't I also do it for myself? And then
Mm.
that's when actually the whole zero waste movement started popping up a lot in Malaysia. I think it was my friend Alia who introduced me to this whole zero waste term. Actually, she was the one who said like, hey, do you want to go do this beeswax workshop at the hive? And I was like, what's the hive? I don't know what that is. You know, i was so I was so occupied with parenting that I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
So that's when I met you and all the
Ah.
other people there. Um, and then I think one of the times you guys were talking about the menstrual cup, and I gotta say it was like, even though I've been using tampons for years, it was like far out for me the thought of putting that in. But I gotta say it's the best decision ever.
Oh, so you switched to cup instead of the cloth pad.
Yeah, I don't like pads.
Ah,
I
because
used to
of you
teach,
need to
yeah.
wash.
Not that. It's also because I used to teach swimming to babies and toddlers.
Yeah.
So tampons was something that was necessary for my job. So
Ah.
because of that, I was very I and I didn't really like handling pads per se,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and it just seemed cleaner to for tampons or the cup. And the cup, there's a bit of a learning curve, but best 100 ringgit ever spent, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's my best one as well.
it's the
It's a
gift
very,
that keeps
very
giving.
good investment. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, wow. We have so many people tuning in. I guess this session is super, super popular. Okay, cool. So thank you for your quick introduction about yourself and also how we met. And yeah, so speaking about the topic for today, right? It's going to be how we go low waste in a multi-generational household and also a little bit about zero waste parenting. So if let's say any of you have some questions about how you go low waste in a big household or how you're going to do this in certain area, feel free to drop your questions under the comments, and we will help or we will try our best to answer by today for these sessions. Yeah. So before I jump into to the questions and also all this like storytelling, I would also like just clarify myself a bit. So I myself I live in a small household where where at the moment I live with my parents and my siblings are all overseas. Yeah. So definitely I'm not the one who can answer a lot of questions, but I will try my best. So that's why we have Nurun to help us. So maybe Nurun, you could give us a little bit background of how many people is actually staying in your house or
Right.
who do you live with? Yeah.
Okay, so there are a total of 8 people in my household, and
Including the twins.
including the twins. And
Okay.
so that's two seniors, my in-laws, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, um, 4 adults, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, my
Uh-huh.
husband and I, and the two 5-year-old twins, and one cat.
so so it's 9.
It's 9. Yeah, my children will say that it's 9.
Yeah, because cat is also one of the family
Yep.
members.
Yeah. So they'll say that it's six girls and 3 boys.
6 girls and 3 boys.
Yeah.
If let's say we have more boys, I think the problem shouldn't be too big. But if we have more girls than boys, maybe. Yeah. So
Yeah. So we live. All of us live in this house. For me, they've all lived here for about in this house for about almost 30 years now, I think,
mm,
in this house. And it's lovely. We are surrounded by jungle, so
yeah.
there's a lot of wildlife. We have wild boars, 2 different types of monkeys, snakes, monitor lizards, all the
Oh.
squirrels. So it's really nice that the children get to grow up living around nature. It's something that
Mm,
they are very used to, that they're not scared of anything in a way. So they get to see like all these little bugs, and sometimes you'll have like a centipede laying all their eggs and hundreds of baby centipedes around. So
Cool.
yeah.
Very lovely. Yeah, so in general, like how, because I know that you started aware about this whole zero waste concept when you started to have your twins,
Mhm,
especially when you are taking care of them. But
mhm.
also, like, since when you started to like incorporate this kind of practices in the household in general.
Right. So, as I touched on before, generally the older generation is quite mindful of things like this.
Mm,
So, my in-laws, they don't really throw away anything. We still have like magazines from the 70s in the house,
mm,
like Vogue and Elle and whatever. And they also really do keep like the tingkat and the for me personally, they keep a lot of the plastic takeaway Tupperware, which
mm,
sometimes
yeah, yeah.
exceeds and becomes like too much. So we have to, for us, my sister-in-law and I will try to remind to bring, like maybe we bring what we have instead of when you tap out, they give you like a new plastic container, because yes, of course you can reuse that plastic container, but
Mm,
then it just piles up and becomes the leaning tower of plastic containers. um yeah, so my in-laws save pretty much everything, in terms
mm,
of like even food, anything that's even just a little bit left over, my mother-in-law will save and keep in the fridge and try to sort of like do something out of it, or we eat the leftovers. um
oh,
so it'll just be like a mishmash, like even if there's like 2 spoons of like a curry gravy left, she'll save it. It's just ingrained in her, I think, to save things like that. But that said, um, they tend to do more recycling than refusing and
mm,
and rotting. They don't really do that. Part of the reason is because we can't really compost here, even though we're in a jungle, because of the wildlife. They tend to dig up the compost. So if there's anything like food scraps that may have gone bad, or that we don't use, like say the vegetable peelings, they're not that great to keep for a stock for whatever reason, maybe they're a bit moldy or something like that, then we would
mm,
throw it into the jungle, and
mm.
the wild boars will come and eat it.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like natural evolution
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
It's a
So
good
yeah,
natural life cycle.
yes, natural life cycle, that's the right word. Yeah. Yeah, so basically, in a nutshell, that's it. We're quite mindful of how much we choose to cook. We don't. We
Mm,
try. We try not to overcook. If let's say there's leftover rice, then we do a fried rice or a baked rice. Um,
mm.
and because we're such a large household, we do buy in bulk. Um,
Oh, straight away in like a very
yeah,
big packaging.
yeah. So in bulk, like laundry powder will be in a very big pack. My mother-in-law used to buy those small packets of dishwashing refill liquid, but I said, like, why don't we just buy a whole 5 liter jug, because you're gonna use it up anyway. Um,
Mm.
and I mean, like, rice comes in 10 kilos. That is what
10 kilo at once.
yes, 10 kilos sack at once. I mean, we've got
Oh.
three men right in the house,
Okay, yeah.
two young adult men, and one and my father-in-law doesn't eat too much rice, but my husband and my brother-in-law do need more rice than us ladies. So 10 kilos is sufficient for us. So I would say buy the biggest pack you can find. And even if, let's say, you're not a big household, but let's say you have friends or family nearby who would like to get in on that same order.
Mm.
So, for instance, like for me, I eat gluten free because of allergies. So I try to buy the gluten free flour in bulk, and normally it'll be like 5 kilos, and that's
Mm.
the least that they'll give you is 5 kilos, unless
Yeah.
and also it gets cheaper when you buy it in bulk. The
Mm.
price per kilo or per 100 gram will be cheaper. So I will ask friends, like, do you guys want gluten free pasta? I can get it from this distributor, but it's 5 kilos. I obviously can't eat 5 kilos gluten free pasta by myself, me and my kids, right? So
Yeah.
so I'm like, do you guys want some, or do you want, who else needs? Or and you can even go on a Facebook group and ask, like, say,
To share
if
your order.
yeah, so like in Zero Waste Malaysia, or say for instance the gluten free support group in Malaysia, you can say, like, guys, I've got a contact for this flour or this pasta. and let's share and split the cost. And generally, that's what I see people do in these groups too, because I don't think that waste is a factor when they think of it. It's more cost. They're thinking, how much cheaper can I get this thing? Yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
yeah,
But also by doing that, you are able to also reduce one less packaging instead of
exactly.
trying to buy all this like
Yeah.
individual package food.
So you can request then. I've requested from people before, like, can they put it in a compostable packaging for me? And if they really can't, then
Mm.
that's when I will get the biggest available pack. And then just only have one piece of plastic packaging instead of all the little packets. Because when you do gluten-free baking or cooking, you can't just
Mm-hmm.
rely on one flour like wheat flour. You need to
Um,
have different flours blended together to create sort of like a blend that would mimic wheat flour. So that's when,
mm.
if you're doing it alone, then you get all these tiny packages of 500 grams, 300 grams, and then you kind of die a little inside because there's all this
And
plastic
sometimes you
waste.
find it, yeah, and sometimes you find it when you buy like in a separate, in an individual packaging, and then you are not actually buying the amount that you actually need. So
Yes.
indirectly, you are also like sometimes. For me, I happen like sometimes that I waste some of the ingredients because
Yeah, absolutely.
because I actually buy something that is over what I need. Yeah, but
Right.
also I believe that it's for like a household at your case, it's quite happen naturally because your in-laws or your parents or your family members in general, they are all
Mhm.
aware. Maybe it's happened naturally. Yeah, but
Uh,
if let's say,
yes and
um,
no lah. Yeah, yes
oh
and
yes
no,
and no,
because things like say takeaway drinks, things like that,
yeah,
it doesn't really um
spark them.
occur to them that the disposability of the plastic cup and the straw and all this. So that's why I always go out with the cutlery pouch with the straws. And I try for so much for myself that if I want to have a drink outside, that I either have it there, or I just go like, no, maybe I don't have it, or I come back another day with my mason jar, or a disposable one of those collapsible silicone cups.
Mm.
So even like, I think my family and I went to Rio in the city once at Sentul Depot, and the girls really wanted the ice cream, but it came in a paper cup. There was no cone, because the first option would be
Oh,
like, we'll get a cone, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
it
yeah.
so happened, like, thank God, I had the collapsible cup in my bag.
Oh, so
So I
you.
so I asked them to put it in the cup. So
Mhm.
crisis averted. But most of the time when you give the vendor this cup, right, they'll be like, but our ice cream isn't that much, you know.
Yeah, they
Or
thought we wanted to have
yeah,
like more.
yeah, but I'm like, no, I know that. Like, that's fine. Just give me what you normally give, and that's fine. Or if I give, like, say, the juice place or the coffee place my mug, and then they'll be like, I don't think we can fit all of the drink in there. Then I'm like, no, it's okay. It's fine. Then they're like, oh, but you won't get your money's worth. And I said, well, I don't mind that because I think it's just a tiny bit. So it's fine for me. I told them. Yeah.
Yeah, so do you usually like also because I know you prepare all this like reusable container just in case you
Hmm.
wanted to tap out something. Do you
Yes.
usually also pack the extra amounts for your family members when you go out or like
Generally, when we go out, if it's just the four of us, my husband, my girls, and
mm,
I, we would generally try not to over order. But if
mm,
there's anything that isn't finished, if I don't have, because sometimes it's very mafan to bring the
to
tiffin, right?
bring the thing up, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to spend money to buy the collapsible silicone one when it's just for
Mm,
one purpose. So what I do is, let me see. I think I left my stuff here. If it's something
mm,
that's a bit dry,
yeah.
I will use this snack bag. So
Ah,
if it's something like fries or popcorn chicken or whatever, I'll use this snack bag that's it's lined with like PUL. Technically,
yes.
yes, plastic, but it is not this
It's
single-use disposable.
reusable.
Right.
Mm,
So even if like the girls need a snack when we're out and they want to go to the bakery or they want to buy like kaya ball or something, right? I'll
mm-hmm,
ask them to put it in this. If I forget
mm,
this, I'll go to a shop that uses paper bags instead.
mm.
if I, sometimes, mom brain, you forget. And then these are also really good. These sometimes, they want to just buy a little bit of biscuit from the kedai rumcit. So these
those small like murukus
yeah,
or
yeah, or those small little milky balls or the ice gems or whatever. So these are good. I got this from a Singapore lady. She's on Etsy. It's a Tuni Money. I don't know if you guys can see. Tuni
Tuni Mari. Oh, okay.
Tuni Money, yeah. So it's also lined with PUL, but there's no zip or anything. So you just flip it, and it's easy for kids because it opens up like a sack, right? And they can makan in the stroller by themselves.
Straight away.
Yeah, and they can kind of like do it independently on their own. And I can put like, my own trail mix or something inside, and it's not so heavy, especially when you have more than one kid. It's really, your diaper bag will be like full of things because you need to carry 2 water bottles, 2 containers. So I try to keep things as flat as possible.
Yeah.
And I always have like these in my bag, and of course the cutlery pouch. This is a homemade cutlery pouch. My mama made it from scrap material.
Nice.
And so yeah, I mean, I go out with the usual chopsticks because you can eat a salad with chopsticks. You don't need a fork. And then the girls have their little chopsticks too, and straws because bubble tea is life, right? So you need a straw. And this seriously best invention ever is the foldable
the sporks. Yeah.
Is the best. This one you can eat ice cream, you can eat a cake, you can eat whatever if you're out and about with kids. So
pasta, rice, noodles.
And it's a good size for kids. So yeah, it's great. That's what's in my bag most of the time. The other thing which I found really helpful if you're starting to go low waste with kids, right? And say your kids young and they kind of like eat puree and yogurt, not really so much solid food yet, or they need to have a lot of juice. People tend to buy those disposable packets, the squeezy packs, where they
the one you eat like jelly kind of thing.
Yeah, so you kind of like suck it up. So I found these. They're the same. They're the same concept, right? So it's silicone, and it's reusable. They come in this size, a smaller size and a larger size. But I think when I bought it like 5 years ago or 4 years ago, there was only this size. And it's the same concept, except you can make your own food, your own yogurt, your own puree, whatever. And then the baby or your young child sucks it up through here. I still use this today because if we go on a road trip, right, I don't want the girls like drinking juice out of a bottle because safety reasons, right? If the car breaks suddenly through anything, it might be a bit dangerous. So these are leak-proof, and if they're not filled up, they can fold down super flat in your bag.
Oh wow, this can come super handy.
Yeah, so if like say, we go out and they want a juice and you've got a juice shop, but you don't want their styrofoam or plastic cup. So I'll just ask them, please split it between 2. And then if there's any balance, you put it in my bottle. Yeah. So these things, same like a menstrual cup or cloth nappies, it is an initial investment upfront. And I understand that not everyone can do that. But in Malaysia, I have found that we have a very big market for secondhand products. So Carousel is a fantastic place to find anything.
Yeah.
I would say your local Facebook group. So like for cloth nappies, right? You can go to the local Malaysia buy sell trade cloth nappy group. So in this group, you'll have like local Malaysian cloth diaper makers, and you'll also have people who are selling off their cloth diapers because they're clean. You wash them, even if it's used by someone else. You can wash them 2 times just to be extra sure, and that would still be less of an impact than a disposable diaper, And then you also learn so many things from these groups, and I learned a lot from these groups because there's so many different types of cloth diapers. We could do a whole live just on different types of cloth diapers. Honestly, I have all the different types next to me. But
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to go into it because it can be a little bit lengthy.
If we have some questions from the
Yeah.
audience, why not later? Yeah.
Yeah, so we can keep that in mind. And then your local Buy Nothing project group. I just
Mm,
so I homeschool the girls, um, purely because not because of MCO or anything, just from before
yeah.
because of my background in early childhood education. I'm quite particular about where I want to send my kids to learn, and
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't found a place that I really liked. And I did find one that was close to us, but then unfortunately they had to shut down because they were being evicted from their premises. Um, so I got like so much kids books and resources from like the Buy Nothing project group in Malaysia. um, you can do that. You can swap with your friends. Like I swap with my friends, like board games for the kids, books. So let's say her kids have finished reading some books, but they're new to us. They are
Mm,
new to us, so we just swap. So she'll take mine and I'll take hers. And then I even got a whole set of encyclopedia. I think there's like 26 books,
wow.
like encyclopedia for kids on
Yeah.
Carousel, but Carousel Singapore. So for me, I'm lucky in the sense that because my sisters live in Singapore,
Mm,
I can get it delivered to them first, and then anytime anybody is going down or coming up or driving up, they can bring it with them.
mm.
That said, I also found the same books in Carousel Malaysia, but it was cheaper in Singapore, so that's why I bought the Singapore one.
Nice. Yeah. We
Yeah,
need to always
yeah,
calculate.
yeah. Because I mean, but yeah, we need to calculate, and that's it also, right? Even though we find that it's cheap or it's on the Buy Nothing project and it's free, it's very easy to get sucked into I want it all,
Yeah. True.
So I I think we also have to be really mindful to think that do I really need it, or do I
Mm,
just want it because it's fulfilling that need of like when we used to buy things at H&M on a sale. You're so shocked, you go and see, oh, sale 50% off, 70% off, and then you buy, 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 buy. And then when you get back home, you're actually hiding it from your husband or your mother because you paiseh, right? You went to buy so much when you actually don't need it. So
yeah.
so it's kind of like the same mindset, and it took me a while to get there also because like with cloth nappies, all the prints are so pretty, you want all of them. And then with the books, you're like, oh man, this book looks cool, I want it, I think my kids would really love it. But then you haven't completed some other books yet, so maybe you
Mm,
don't get it yet. Maybe somebody else can benefit from it, and when you're done with it, pay it forward and pass it along to someone else, whether you want to sell it or whether you want to gift it, up to you.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I think you.
I find that in a sense, this circular economy sort of thing is coming back, which is very encouraging.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
you really point out a very important point is that when we actually make a purchase, we need to define, do we really need it, or is it something that we just want for the sake of maybe a
Wanting, yeah.
temporary happiness? Yeah, so I think
Exactly. Yeah.
this is a very, very important point, regardless of, today you wanted to learn to live low waste in a multi
Mm,
generational household or zero waste parenting.
mhm.
It's very, very important points for everyone who wanted to live a low waste lifestyle. Yeah, but also I'm very, very curious because you have twins and both are they are girls, right?
Mhm.
How
Yep.
about clothes? Do they have?
Right.
Yeah,
So
I think.
clothes. Okay. So when I found out I was expecting, my mother went to work already, in Sweden. In Sweden, she lives in a little town, a little
Mm-hmm.
coastal town.
Yeah.
And there is the second-hand and thrifting market in European countries is far and beyond what we have here in Malaysia and Singapore. Like,
Mm.
we equate it here with like, yeah, dirty. Somebody else used already.
Mm.
So gross, like only poor people buy it. Nothing wrong with being poor. I've been there, you know, like I've
Mm.
been there, and there's nothing wrong with it. You're still a human being. You still deserve the same respect, and you can find such treasures in a thrift shop. So my kids, when they were babies, most of their newborn clothing came from Sweden. My mom, when she came over, she brought it. So all those like those like kimono style baby baju, and then
Ah.
baby hats, and she even brought me like my stepdad's daughter's baby clothing. So that's like 20 years old.
Oh,
So
wow.
like legit Swedish vintage baby clothes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very cute. So after I was done with them, my sister got pregnant not long after that, and happened to be a girl too.
Oh,
So
so you can pass down to
so my
her.
so my niece got it. Then after my niece, my friend in Singapore, just last year I think I was expecting a girl too. So my sister passed it to her. So now we each have each of our babies in the same outfit, in the same hat, in a picture. So it's quite cute when you see it that way. Same thing. And if you can't go thrifting, but if you're doing it here, there are some places that you can do it. Jalan Japan is my top one for kids.
Mm,
Anything kids,
yeah.
actually anything for anyone, because they've got household products, they've got furniture, they have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of high chairs. Don't buy a new high chair. If you go to Jalan Japan, you can get a solid wood high chair that looks very much like a stoke trip trap for 60
Yeah.
ringgit.
And
60
also baby
ringgit.
trolley, right?
Oh, so
A
many baby
lot.
preps, so many baby carriers, so many like baby bouncers, so many toys. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the girls, if they want a toy, generally we wait for a birthday or a special occasion.
Ah, okay.
But sometimes we go to Japan and they're like, I really want to buy an airplane. Then I'm like, okay, you each have 2 ringgit or 4 ringgit, like I'll set an amount. I'll be like, you each have, 2 ringgit or 2 ringgit or 4 ringgit and 4 ringgit. So you sort it out like what you want to get. Then suddenly one will see like, I really want this doll. But it's like 8 ringgit. So I said, okay, so what you can do is you can each get one thing, or you can pool your money together and get one thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So what did it happen? Like, do
They did
they
that. They
choose
did.
to combine
Yeah.
together?
They will discuss for a while. They will discuss for a while. And then somebody will say, okay, let's do this, and then maybe next time we come back and get the airplane. Because I think that starting them at an early age to sort of like solve that problem,
Yeah.
intentionally look at the problem and solve it, is better than saying, oh, it's so cheap, 2 ringgit, mama buy for you lah, or popo buy for you. It's okay. So I will
Mm.
try and like just take my mother-in-law aside if she's there, because as a grandparent they will want to buy for the grandchildren, and it's only 2 ringgit or 5 ringgit or something like that. And I'll say like, mom, never mind, how about if you really want to, you can buy it and keep it aside, then when their birthday comes you give it to them. And I know it's only like
Mm.
5 ringgit. People will be like, you give your child a 5 ringgit toy for their birthday. But it's something they like, right? So
Yeah.
why not? And I try to give things that tend to encourage open-ended play instead of
Mm-hmm.
just, it can only do one thing, like those toys with the lights and all that kind of stuff. We try not to get those. So we get things like blocks. You can get really good wooden blocks at Jalan Japan. So
Mm.
for like 20 ringgit, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on it. And then things like paint, right? So like kids like to paint, they like to draw, and I get so much free color pencils for like from random things, like
Oh,
friends give for their child's birthday gift bag,
right.
or you go and visit a school to tour it, and then they give you a goodie bag that's got like
Mm.
color pencils in it. So generally I would say no to the goodie bag, right? But because it's got color pencils in it, I'll take it and I'll use it.
Yeah,
And
because it will be useful for your kids as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So in terms like paint, right? So for paint, normally you would buy like the whole set, all the different colors, right?
Ah, yes.
So what I do is I don't do that, because I find that all those little pots, they get used up really quickly, and then
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what to do with those little pots. They're so
Mm.
small, and you can't put food in them because it's had paint in it. You're not sure if it's safe. So what
Yeah.
I did was I went to Art Friend. Let me just grab a bottle,
Okay.
and
Is
I
it the
buy.
one that you mentioned, like bancho? Those
Yes,
small.
yes,
Oh, okay, okay.
the small jars,
Understand.
So I
Yeah.
buy the big one.
Oh.
Yeah, so but I don't buy all the colors. I buy the primary colors. I buy green, and no, I buy blue, red, yellow, white,
You
and
can
black.
mix it.
Yes, because it encourages the children to get creative and mix, and it's also a learning process for them. Oh, blue and red makes purple. What happens if I add a little bit more white to this? So it's also a learning
Oh,
opportunity for them. And this, right, I've had it for half a year. It's still here.
okay.
So if you have friends that want to get in on it, you can also share. It's fine, you know.
Mm,
And then things like crayons, when they use it up, then you're left with like these little stubby things, right? You can
yes.
actually put those little stubby things in a silicone muffin tray, perhaps, bake it
Uh-huh.
for a little while, and then it come out as a whole big piece of crayon that can be reused again.
Oh, but different
Yeah.
color
Yes.
combinations.
So it'll be like a
Oh,
rainbow
cool.
galaxy crayon, yeah. So these kind of things are very, it's out there on the internet. It's not something new that I thought of myself, but it
Mm,
just takes a little bit of time to
mm,
find out what you can do. Like you can make your own Play-Doh.
mm-hmm,
It's really easy. You just need flour, cream of tartar, water, salt. That's all. Or
mm,
if you're not keen to make your own, support a local small business that makes it. There's
mm.
so many of them, and then you're helping your community. And most of the time, these are small businesses that are run by parents like us, you know, who want to
Yeah.
have a side income. So it's all reasonably priced. It's I really believe in supporting local industry. So we have so many beautiful things here in Malaysia that but sometimes we have the mindset that overseas imported things are better.
Yes, yeah. We do not really appreciate our local makers that do
Yes.
a high level quality stuff than overseas. Yeah.
Say for instance chocolate, right? People are mad over like Swiss chocolate, Belgian chocolate. Do you realize they don't grow the chocolate there? It
They grow
doesn't
from
grow
other
there.
countries,
Yeah,
maybe make there and then
yeah,
sell it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. But we have such beautiful chocolate here in Malaysia, right? Like we
Mm,
grow it here. And part of the reason why I like supporting local industry is because you know the makers, you know the supply chain. Because sometimes these cocoa that's coming from overseas or chocolates, there's a lot of child labor involved that you don't know of.
mm.
But when you stop buying from them, then you stop supporting things like this. Same with cashews and almonds and things like that. You know,
Yes,
um,
yeah.
cashews are really it's delicious. Like don't get me wrong, but people get harmed so much in the chain of cashew making, and most of the time it's people of color who are low income, and they are forced to do that work because they
That's
have
the
no
only way
choice.
for them to
Yeah,
survive.
yeah, so
Yeah.
because I have the privilege to make that choice to say, no, I'm not going to eat that. I know it's just me, one person, but I'm hoping that when people see, like, oh, why aren't you buying cashew milk or why don't you make cashew milk? And then I can open up and have a conversation with them that living low waste or zero waste is not just reducing your waste, but
Mm,
it's very intersectional to a lot of
yeah.
other issues that we can, as much as we can. Constantly learning, like every day I'm just like, whoa, you know, I didn't know
Mm,
this before. And it's mind blowing, really. It's pretty wild.
mm.
We'll get back to like for kids, right? So swapping is great, carousel is great, thrift
Yeah.
shops, buy nothing project. I'm reading off my list here so I don't uh try to do things that are for experience rather than buying stuff.
Yeah,
So
this is a
like
good
you
one.
Yeah, so you can go to parks, do outdoor play, bake or cook with your kid. Don't be scared to let them get messy and learn things in the kitchen. My kids have been cooking their scrambled eggs since they were 4 years old.
4 years old, scrambled egg.
Yeah,
Serious.
yeah.
Okay. If your
So
kids can do, I believe everyone else
yeah,
kids also can do
so
the same
yeah,
thing.
you just have to tell them, look, the pan is hot. Here's where you hold it. Here's where you
Mm-hmm.
stir. Let them get involved in baking. It will be messy. Kids are messy.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, even I'm messy. I'm very clumsy sometimes, So I mean, let them take part in household chores. Help to bring stuff to the laundry. Help to sidai the baju, like hang the clothes out and like fold it. And then make sure that they keep their own things because this teaches them like independence and also that no one person has to do it. Because I always say everyone has to do their part in the family. It's not just one person. Don't expect that Papa or Mama will do it. No, everybody does it, you know. And then let's see. You can also take them to places like nature school. My friend Smita, you know Smita from I Quit Waste, right?
Yeah.
She's the one that turned me onto this. So there's a nature school by Tatana Roots. Before MCO, I did this with the girls. It's run by Tatana Roots at Taman Tugu, and Taman Tugu is so beautiful. Like I was just amazed when I went there. It's so well done, like
Nice.
really, really good. So Miss Suzanne, who runs Tatana Roots, she will bring us on walks. Like every day will be like a different topic. Today we're gonna look for seed pods, or we're gonna go to the sungai and go into the sungai and look for prawns, things like that. So
Oh,
very
okay.
hands-on, very nature. And I think Frim also has something like this, if I'm not wrong. You can do a quick Google. Yeah. And they even teach you how to climb trees because our kids don't know how to climb trees.
Oh, so by having them involve them, are they expert on climbing trees already?
Not really lah, because MCO happened, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, and then but it's really nice rather than always bringing them to an indoor playground with the soft play. You bring them outside.
Yes.
They see nature.
Definitely.
They learn about our local plants, what's edible, what's not, and also the insects. I learned so much from following them to the nature school. Like I was like, wow, I didn't know what this insect was, and now I do. Another great one for kids is the Ilham Gallery in Ampang.
Oh, near Element Hotel.
Yeah, so that one's really good. They actually have a specific Facebook group.
Yeah.
It's called Ilham Gallery Kids and Families. They do
Ilham
a
Gallery.
lot of age appropriate art tours that most of the time will end with a hands-on experience for children.
I
Yeah.
see.
So I think it's really nice to encourage our kids. Nothing wrong with TV. Please, by all means, my kids watch TV too.
Yeah.
I need peace and quiet, but I think it's nice that we spend time outdoors because most of the time when we go out, right, we go to a shopping mall. It's a very Malaysian Singaporean thing to do. Let's go shopping mall. Let's go eat ice cream. But then where is the? I mean, it's nothing wrong with it, but we could do a bit more. You know. And
Okay.
then,
Wait,
yeah.
let me chop you for a while. So I
Okay.
guess we really running out of time, but let me see if we are able to answer a few of the questions
Okay.
from our audience, right? Okay, so we have our first, I think I saw some questions on the floor where from Elena, she said that like, oh, how do you manage kids snacks on the go with minimal packaging? So I believe that this one you have already answered just now.
Yeah,
And also,
there are two other places I would say that are great for kids snacks bulk wise. If they need a sweet treat, you can go to, like, say, you know that shop like Eddie where you can buy the gummies or something by
oh,
weight.
yeah.
IKEA also. IKEA is
Yeah,
good for that.
IKEA.
So you
Yes.
can bring your own bag if they need a sweet treat. Berkat Madinah is a favorite place of ours to go to. It's a Middle Eastern supermarket. You can get bread package free. You can get like M&Ms, but
Ah,
not M&Ms. The chocolate, yeah.
the chocolate colorful thing.
Yes, so you can get those package free. Like literally just scoop like a kilo and into your own bag and
Where
they'll be
where is it again?
Berkat Madinah. So the one I go to is in Ampang. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's in Ampang. But I think they have a few different locations. The one near me is near Ampang Boulevard. Yeah, so that's really good. You can get olives and cheese package free there too, by the way.
How to spell again? Berkat.
Yes, so Berkat Berkat, then Madinah Madinah.
Is this on our map?
I
I
think
don't know.
so. I
Oh,
think I told you before, but I think you might have put
okay.
it on the map. Yeah.
Okay, let
But
me check.
yeah, the other way to stock up on kids snacks with minimal packaging takes a bit of effort. But what I do is I make snacks and I freeze them. So I'll make donuts and I'll partially fry them, then I'll put them on a baking tray, freeze them flat, and then once they're solidly frozen, you can put them in a container or a silicone bag or even a cloth bag, stick it in the freezer. Then whenever you need to go out or you need like a quick tea break or breakfast, just take it out, finish it off. You can also fully freeze cooked muffins. You can make popcorn. I have a recipe for that on my feed. If anybody needs it, just message me. I'll point you in the right directions. You can also freeze uncooked cookie dough. So that you can, yeah, so you make the cookie dough, right? Then what you do is you shape it either with an ice cream scooper or with spoons is fine. Again, freeze the uncooked dough flat on a baking sheet, stick it in the freezer. Once it's frozen solid, you can just lump them all together into a container or into a bag. And when you want to bake it, you just bake it as normal, just add 2 extra minutes to the time. So that's how I do it. Yeah, that's basically it, I think.
Nice.
All the stuff about Bath and Body people have covered before, so
Yes. And also we have another questions from Elsie. How do we motivate parents to live zero waste?
Okay, this one is a bit difficult because it really depends on the person themselves. My husband is not low waste. But he leaves me to do my own thing, and as long as I don't think we can force people, but rather to show them through what we do, because my in-laws technically are not low waste either. They'll still buy Massimo bread because that's what they like, and you cannot force because that's what they're used to. But in this MCO, my mother-in-law has been baking a lot more bread, so I keep on telling her, I tell her like, your bread very nice. Look at it.
To make her happy.
I said I cannot eat it, but it looks really good. Like look, the girls are enjoying it so much. I think you should make more.
Okay, no more Massimo.
Yeah, I said you should make lah. Look at it. I said look at it. It's so nice and fluffy. Why you want to buy Massimo?
Is she here on the live?
No, but I think she knows lah. Yeah, but like I said, generally I'm lucky because my in-laws are very low waste. I haven't seen them buy new clothes and things like this. They will just use like stuff from us that don't fit anymore because we are bigger than them. So they will just use stuff from me or my husband and things like that. And they're very mindful. But I think it's really the society that you grow up in. We are in a society where it's instant gratification. Whereas back then, for our parents and grandparents, they really they work hard to get something and they really value it and treasure it. So,
and things get more easy to get during these days where people forget how to really appreciate. Yeah,
yes.
But it's so good that you actually deliver this kind of like values to your kids at such a young age.
I try my best. I try my best. Sometimes don't get me wrong, I cannot be a killjoy to them, right? When they say they want something. So sometimes, yes, I am not completely waste-free. In no way am I. No one can be completely waste-free, but I try my best. I don't want to be that killjoy that says, like the bad cop, no, you cannot have it because the turtles will die. Like, yes, the turtles will die, but I say, okay, if you really want it, you can have it here. We'll do it later, but you have to dispose of it very mindfully. Then,
Yeah. Okay, so we have a quick emergency, not emergency,
Okay,
but
I see that.
on Instagram we have 1 and 50 minutes left. So I would say maybe I will end up with one more questions and then some last advice from you on Instagram. Yeah. So I'm just wondering if your twins love thrift shop rather than shopping mall.
They love the toy shops in the shopping mall.
Okay, so but the toy shops in JJJ?
No, they do love that too. I would say they love both. But then we try to tell them, let's look for whatever you want in Toys R Us. I'll look for it on Carousel. That's how I got all their My Little Ponies. Everything is from Carousel.
Nice.
And I always filter for used and filter for local to me.
Yeah. I think it's good because you are giving a new new values to something that people do not have maybe lost the appreciation anymore. Yeah, so it's very, very good. So maybe last advice from your end.
From me,
Before,
I think
yeah.
whatever we do, just try to be as conscious as possible and really just take a minute and sit with yourself and think, why am I doing it? Do I really need it? And try to just research and make the best possible decision for you and your family. There's no one right way or wrong way. It's what works for you and your family. But as always, I know I like talk so much, so message me if you guys need to know anything.
Yeah, so once again, thank you, Nurun, from Mama Long Pants. If let's say you would like to also check out more about her zero waste journey, do check out her Instagram account, mama.longpants on Instagram. And don't forget to check out our social media to look for our next community live stream. So for Instagram people, we will jumpa lagi. Bye!
Thanks for having me.
Okay, it's straight away. Okay. Yeah, so on Facebook, we still have a little bit of time. Maybe we could okay, so maybe we could allow one more questions before we end the session if it's possible. So it says from Kinshan, hi from Subang, when can I when okay, my blah blah. What can I do with my used cooking oil? I have been collecting them and not sure where to send it to. I think I can answer you these questions. Maybe if let's say Nurun has something to add on, you can also add on. So for cooking oil collection, do check out Zero Waste Malaysia map, because on our map we also have some pin locations that people collecting this kind of cooking oil and turn them into biodiesel or turn them into like multi-purpose soap. Yeah, so do check out our Zero Waste Malaysia map that is pinned on Facebook group, or you can check it out on our website. Yeah, and do you have any tips for cooking oil, Nurun?
No, I think you've covered it mainly.
Yeah. Okay.
There's also people who use cooking oil to make soap. So places like Zara Bakara Organic.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So they do take cooking oil to make soap. Other than that, 我不知道. I don't know.
It's okay. No worries. So Kingshan, do check out Zero Waste Malaysia map, because there are tons of resources that to up to date, we have more than 600 pin locations that is able for us to access zero waste. Yeah, so I guess we have covered most of the questions, and without further ado, also I guess people have already listened to your advice, and I would say we will be ending these sessions very, very soon. So thank you once again for tuning in to learn about zero waste parenting, and also some tips and tricks on how to live zero waste in a multi-generational household with Nurun. And thank you, Nurun, for tuning in as well to be our guest. And also thanks Kamini and Jessica for helping us as back end. So hope to see you tomorrow on another community live stream. Thank you, Nurun.
Thank you, Sue Yee, Kamini, and Jessica for having me. Thank you, Zero Waste Malaysia.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.